have two small notes before I move on to the rest of the video. One, I thank you, Britt, for your consolation of my feelings about the Cowboys. I actually recorded that video before, that's why I was wearing the jersey, and I won't talk about that game because I think I would exceed the maximum desired level of bleeping that I would have to do on the video, because it would just be a long, high-pitched noise for about 20 minutes. Not really, but you get my drift. Also, apparently when YouTube tells you your video is uploaded, it should be available in a few minutes, it means that the upload failed and that it didn't upload. So that's why I didn't have a video last week. It said it was uploaded, so I closed the window and I came back a little later and it was gone, and I was perplexed, but heck, that's what happens. I actually made a little list of what I wanted to talk about, or at least mention in passing, just to not forget anything, because I knew there was going to be a lot that I wanted to mention. So, on to it. To start, which was mentioned before, Death Note. I'm blubbering or something, I don't know. The Death Note live-action movies I also enjoyed. I have them all on DVD, including the L movie, which wasn't quite the first two movies, but also enjoyed it, and I'm cautiously optimistic about the American adaptation live-action movie, which most of the talk's talking about Zac Efron doing it, and if it was not for his uncanny resemblance to Light, I would be a little bit apprehensive, but I'll be cautiously optimistic, just because it might turn out good. Another thing I want to mention, this isn't so much as a movie, but I know it exists, and I've seen clips of it, and it just made me laugh, but there's actually a musical version of Bleach that was released in Japan, and it's like a Bleach stage musical, and I don't think the sets were that elaborate. There's a couple of risers, just these like a little bit low tables people would jump up on and jump down and lie down and just walk around, and they would sing, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about it. I haven't seen very much of it, just short clips, so I don't know, maybe it's about what you would think. It's a musical version of Bleach, but yeah. For some smaller things, there's an anime called Gokuzen. It's about a if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's about a Yakuza daughter that wants to become a teacher, so she goes and becomes a teacher, and there's antics and things like that, and there's a live action version of that. When I was watching the anime, I kind of watched a few clips, and it seemed pretty interesting. It was a little bit off the wall, and it's kind of interesting to see the more off the wall side of the acting, like you see in anime, and like in the live action and stuff, and people acting really goofy, but never really watched it, but I have seen that, so that was interesting. It wasn't really a movie so much as it was a TV, but I did say live action, so yeah. I also saw a bit of the Sailor Moon. Wow, I'm really like moving fast and like touching on what I want to. Sorry, I'm got a bit of a cold, so I'm sniffly, but I'm really like this, and like being prioritized. Now I have a list, so I should make lists more often, so I don't do ums and awkward pauses. Anyway, I have seen Sailor Moon, the live action, and I shouldn't say I've seen it. I started watching it, and I was just like jaw-dropping. Not really. I guess I've only seen like a few minutes of it, but I kind of stopped watching after I started it, because I haven't even seen the original like anime. I mean, I've seen bits and parts of it, like when it was on TV and I was younger, but I recall that, but I'm not really like knowing too much about it. I'm aware of it, so I just started watching a little bit of it. I'm like, really? There's just live action Sailor Moon? And I watched it, I'm like, yeah, that's live action Sailor Moon, and then I shut it off. Okay, on to some things that I should say, because I really like Death Note, but on to some more things I can talk more about and say I really liked. There's a movie called Kamikaze Girls, and it is very funny. A lot of like Japanese culture commentary in there and things like that. And basically, it's about these two girls who meet and like forge a friendship, and one of them is a kind of a princessy, prissy girl, and she's a lot into the sweet Lolita fashion. I'm really specific there, and actually saying which type of Lolita. And I know there's different ones, and it's really strange that I know that. But anyway, yes, the she's into like the sweet Lolita fashion, like the pink and the billowy and poofy stuff, and she meets this girl who is, I forget the term for it, but the like the biker gang, it's like they have in Japan, and she's like from a girl from one of those, like a girls biker gang, and they meet a friendship, and it's just kind of an odd couple situation. It's really funny, so we should see that. I think I mentioned before, and somewhere in this a stack on a table next to me, because I don't have any bookshelves right now or space to put bookshelves, so I actually have a card table with a bunch of books and VHSs tacked on it. But I have a VHS of a movie called Tampopo, and while I'm talking about this, I'm gonna grab my water because my throat's starting to be weird. But Tampopo was actually an older movie. Excuse me. And it's about this lady who has this ramen shop, and these guys stop. I haven't actually watched it yet because I've seen a few clips of it in the class, and I'm like, that's interesting. And I saw it, I'm like, Tampopo. But yes, Tampopo. I do still have to watch it, but basic premise, like the lady, she has a ramen shop, and then these two guys who like drive truck, like a semi truck, I think it is. They stop to get some ramen, and she really doesn't know how to make ramen that well, and they kind of like scold her on it and say it's not very good, and they're really judgmental of her ramen. And eventually, I don't know, things happen, but the main story of this movie is them helping her figure out how to make the perfect ramen. Like, it's the quest to make the best ramen they can. And there's a few more other stories just about like the food culture in Japan in there that they showed us in this class, because it was a class about like, actually it was the literature and food class, but they also showed some film examples and like storytelling with that. But yes, Tampopo, I mean, I do need to watch it, but the clips we watched were pretty funny. So moving on to Seven Samurai. I did watch this in its entirety. I was a little familiar, but I saw Samurai 7, the anime, like years before, but Seven Samurai, very good film. You should go watch it. It's amazing. On to something that I don't think has been mentioned, no, but along the same lines of like Death Note that's getting a USA version, there is a live-action movie supposedly being made of Cowboy Bebop. I'm going to apologize in advance for you screaming at the screen once I tell you who's attached to play Spike, because it is Keanu Reeves. So, not so cautiously optimistic about that one. I mean, he might be able to pull off some of the physical aspects of it, but I don't know. I've enjoyed movies he's been in, but I don't really consider him a good actor. So, yeah. Okay, I have two more things on my list, but sorry about breaking the bad news to you if you haven't heard that about the Cowboy Bebop live action that's coming out. But, yeah. More with stuff like that. Dragon Ball Evolution sucked. I'll just say that. And I've heard rumors, not heard, but read rumors online that there's supposedly, maybe not, a few whisperings of perhaps a live-action version of Last Exile being made in the States. So that would be cool, because Last Exile is really cool, and I've adamantly recommended it a few times. So yeah. And that's everything on my list. I got through it. Pretty cool. And not as many awkward pauses. So I'm going to eat something and go to bed now. And I'll see you guys later.